You never heard of him, but then your son's in a great business that he invested in, and there was no segue. So then what made you bring up the business that your son's doing with him if you never heard of him? This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The description is down in the disclaimer box. Welcome to the Think Tank. We use critical thinking, deductive reasoning, and just a pinch of common sense to draw unbiased and logical conclusions. I'm back again with my co-host, the Honorable Dion Powell, that I will allow to introduce himself. Then we're going to talk about season. Dion?
All right. I'm District Leader Dion Powell, class of 1999, for my high school alma mater, Carlos Spellman, consultant, strategist, and community leader. Still here in the Bronx, born and raised. Back to you, Skip.
All right. So, for those of y'all who are unaware, there was $2 trillion offered to Trump's own coin, his own Bitcoin, his own coin. $2 trillion was invested. It's going to get him like $80 billion a year. His sons run it. It was offered to him by Binance. The founder of Binance, a man by the name of CZ, went to jail because he was evading taxes, I guess. I don't know. I know that he was funding Hamas. He was funding, what are the other two terrorist groups?
ISIS,
Yes, he was
Taliban,
funding.
Israel.
Yes, he was funding ISIS. He was funding Hamas. He was funding one of the other, and Al Qaeda. He was funding Hamas, ISIS. Binance literally was funding ISIS, Al Qaeda, and Hamas. So this man is in jail for laundering money for the three biggest terrorist groups in the world. He gives some money into Trump's family business that his sons are running, his cryptocurrency, and Trump pardons him. Now, this sounds kind of sketchy. So, right before the elections, Trump does this big interview on 60 Minutes. Same place where him and Kamala did the interview, where he sued them because they edited about 30 seconds of a response she gave. And even though he sued because they edited like they always do, and they edited for him 40 minutes out of his responses, and you can hear the responses he gave, you can hear why they edited them. They had no choice because he wasn't always coherent. One thing that he was incoherent about was the answer to why he pardoned CZ, in which he answered, I don't know who that is. So the question becomes, is he lying? Is he lying? Did he pardon a man he never even heard of? Did somebody pardon CZ for him? Or is this just another example of corruption? And this is what 60 Minutes asked him, like, is this, how do you answer the fact this looks like it's corruption? He says, never even heard of him. The fact is, my sons are in a great business. Wait a minute. You never heard of him, but then your son's in a great business that he invested in, and there was no segue. So then what made you bring up the business that your son's doing with him if you never heard of him? This is something the mainstream media did not ask. I'm sure that was something that was removed. One of the 40 minutes that was removed from the interview before they aired it. But Dion, what is your response?
Well, again, there's a lot of things I agree with the president, and there's a few things that are questionable, and there's a few things that I disagree with. In this case, if Congress or the court question his auto pen based on those responses, that's one thing. But in hindsight, there's always precedence for this too with the previous administration. And then on top of that, if Trump wants to pre-pardon people, that's also a possibility with or without his knowledge. Because remember, that happened before in the previous administration. So that's the problem with the power of the pardon is being abused.
Okay. So I believe the word you like to use for what you just responded was word salad. Let's try this again. Was he committing a corrupt act, or did somebody sign for him with the auto pen?
I don't know. Anything's possible based on the information provided. So the president signs a lot of documents, but for pardons, again, there's a pardon czar, and that should be under her purview. What was her response? I don't know.
So a man puts $2 trillion into his family business to the tune of $80 million a year and receives a pardon, and Trump has never heard of him and gives him a pardon at the same time. This is the story. Do you believe that story?
Uh, I don't know. That's the answer because sometimes the president commute and pardon lots of people all at the same time. That's put in front of their desk and just sign their way. So anything's possible. See what I'm saying?
He did say, he went on, he didn't stop there. He kept going. You know, it's Trump. It's Trump being Trump. He said he heard that he might have been wrongfully imprisoned and that it was a Biden witch hunt. He said that. He did it. He said it.
There you go. Just like they say what Trump is doing right now with all his political enemies. Anything's possible.
So he pays Binance, who was funding, laundering money for Al Qaeda, Hamas, and ISIS, gives his company $2 trillion. He pardons him, then claims he doesn't know who the guy is, and you can make excuses for this for real. And then you wonder why we say it's a cult. That's a lot of sentence.
Oh, well, again, some people who say the previous administration that supported that president was a cult. But again, I'm not sure of the situation. And like I said, the auto pen, pardons, commutations, a lot goes before the president. So we know how Trump gets down.
So based on the evidence you have, if all the evidence I gave you is correct, would you then assume that Donald Trump was doing something illegal?
That's the thing. It's only the abuse of the pardon, it seems like on the surface. And remember, in all politics,
Bribery.
Nepotism and cronyism, of course. Exactly. These things happen. Now, will something happen to the president? No. But again, this is how Trump gets down, and a lot of administrations do it too. Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his son. Eric Adams said that.
Right in the middle of, or right before he took away food security from 42 million Americans, 6 million of which are children. That's Trump being Trump. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be back with another episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This is Leo and Dion.
And we are the media, and now so are you.